Last week I made a ton of progress on my Chasm's call scene. Working on the character, building the lighthouse, tweaking the foreground, and refining the atmosphere. But what is a project without a few struggles? There were some unexpected challenges, some far too detailed creative decisions, and a few moments of why is this broken? Let's go over everything. Hey, I'm Sasna, and welcome back. This challenge has been a wild ride, and in this video I'll take you through last week's progress, creating the Lighthouse Keeper, battling some frustrating animation quirks, and rethinking my scene composition. So there's a lot to cover. Let's dive in. I started with the Lighthouse Keeper using metahumans as the base. I had this image in my head of an old grizzled man who's seen one too many storms. I spent way too long picking a face that fit, which is hilarious because you can't even see it in the final shot. But I know it's there, so that counts for something, right? Anyway, for clothing, I grabbed some free assets from Sketchfab. No need to reinvent the wheel, especially on a time challenge, and considering that character modeling isn't really one of my strengths. I separated off some pieces which I didn't need and mirrored a shoe asset as it was only a single one. Next step was exporting the metahuman body from Unreal and importing it into MetaTailor to fit the clothes. This is an amazing tool, which also has a free option, and I would highly recommend you checking it out. The overall process of importing own clothing assets is made really easy, and if your assets are posed nicely, it is a walk in the park. But of course, nothing is ever that easy. The top was modeled with the arms hanging down the side, which caused some weird deformations. So I had to take it back into Blender for some sculpting work. It's not perfect, but for the scale it will be seen in the shot, it does the job. Texturing was quick, as the shoes and trousers I chose already had nice texture maps, which I could import into Unreal and just had to tweak a little to make them look less like plastic. Only for the top I made something myself, which was way too detailed as well. It could have been some brown material and honestly would have looked the same. After the model was done, I felt ready to go back to animation. I took my time, tweaking movements, making everything feel a bit more natural before exporting it into Unreal. And let's talk about Unreal for a second. Because I swear every time I bring in an animation, something weird happens. At one point the metahuman's head and body were moving independently, and after way too much troubleshooting, I found the fix. Save the project, close Unreal, reopen it, and magically it works. One other tip: if you're using metahumans in Sequencer with pre-made animations, remember to mute the control rig, or the animation won't play right. Learned that one the hard way, as the body was moving and the head was dancing off alone. After all that, I needed a break from problem solving, so I switched to modeling the lighthouse in Blender. Structurally, it's just a bunch of cylinders, so nothing too crazy. The window frames and railing were quickly done by using Blender's wireframe modifier. But for some reason, I decided to add way too much detail to the lamp at the top, which ended up to be unnecessary because it won't be seen in the shot. But hey, now you know it's there. For texturing, I skipped UV unwrapping and used Unreal's auto UV projection, which works great for simple models like this. I grabbed some concrete textures from Quixel Megascans and made a quick metal material for the railings. And then came the glass. Oh, the glass. Making it transparent caused a weird low poly effect, and I went down a troubleshooting rabbit hole. Again. Tweaking LODs, adjusting collisions, re-importing the mesh, applying everything before exporting and re-importing again, trying out different transparencies and translucency settings. Honestly, no clue what finally fixed it, but it works now, so I'm calling that a win. All in all, there were a lot of productive days. And then I saw someone on Instagram talking about the challenge's foreground shelf. And that's when it hit me. I had gotten completely sidetracked. My character was originally supposed to stand on a cliff overlooking the ocean, but somewhere along the way I made the lighthouse the focal point instead. so it was time to fix that. I scaled down the lighthouse and brought back the cliff, and added some life to the scene with rocks and foliage from Fab's free asset packs. Honestly, if you're not grabbing those that come out bi-weekly, you're missing out. They are great for blocking out scenes and even final shots. One small but effective trick I used was making the lighthouse follow the camera. By parenting everything to it and adding a slight animation offsetting it, I got a subtle parallax effect that keeps it in frame while still feeling natural. It's a tiny detail, but it makes a difference. By this point, the scene was really coming together, and I had enough troubleshooting for the week. So I wrapped it up. Sometimes taking a break is the best thing you can do. But next up, the final stretch. Finishing touches, fixing a mistake that could maybe disqualify me if I leave it in, and adding in something crucial. The creature. Yeah, that main storytelling part isn't even in yet. So if you're interested how that turns out, you can look forward to next week. Let me know in the comments if you want a deeper dive into any part of the process. And if you enjoyed it, a like and subscribe would mean a lot. See you in the next one.